Villanueva, and today I'm going to share my ethnography project. For this assignment, I observed a Christian church service and explored the cultural and symbolic significance of the experience, and focusing specifically on the symbol of the Bible and the cross, as well as the overall experience and religion. I did name my presentation "The Exploration and Research of Christianity." So yeah, welcome. As I mentioned before, the religion that I decided to study on and do research on is Christianity. I did choose this religion just because I felt like it's such a well known religion besides Catholic religion. Um, and I know a lot of people that are Christian, it's like heavily influenced around my area and especially among the Hispanic community. So that grabbed my attention, and I thought it'd be good for me to become more educated on the religion. The event was at church. I attended a church service event, which the church was called El Vibro de Dios. Excuse my mispronunciation. I did include the church services location right here. If anyone is interested in attending, I do encourage them to attend. If you're already Christian, and you want to try out another church, or if you're open to exploring Christianity, definitely encourage you guys to go. They have, I believe, services Fridays, Sundays, and Mondays. The one I attended to was on a Sunday. The first, my service started at 7 p.m. and ended at 9. Overall, I do want to talk about my experience about that. My experience attending the church was a warm, heartfelt experience. I was greeted with a lot of warm smiles and hellos from the oldest face to the youngest. It had a very distinct smell. It smelled like fresh flowers from the flowers that the community set up to decorate the church to make it more comforting and unique, which in my heart was very appreciated. It did also have a lingering smell of an older lady perfume. That was just something that caught my attention. Kind of stuck with me. I did want to mention that the church had colorful flags that represented different countries hanging all over the ceiling, along with the faded cream color paint on the walls. I do want to mention that the colorful flags that represented the countries were very important to me, because this might be a reason on why I might go again to the service on my own. Just because the church actually holds events to raise donations, to donate to organizations that help with countries that are suffering from poverty, sex trafficking, and just poor countries overall. And these are just different multicultural countries all around the world, and I think that's very cool. I've never heard of that being done from a church. Every time I think of a donation being done in a church, I think it's amongst the community, but this is bigger than that. So I think that this is very unique and it's inspiring. I did want to mention the interview. I had the opportunity to speak to members of the church and my two interviewees. Besides my two interviewees, I did speak to two little girls named Valerie and Grace. They were very sweet, and I did speak to other people, but what stuck out to me in my conversation with them was the fact that they had a lot of pride and love for the church community, which I thought was very beautiful and unique. When I asked them questions about how long they've been coming here, they answered with all since they could remember, and that it's a big part of themselves. And it was very sweet for them to help translate certain scriptures for me, and they seemed very in tune and like very good kids, which was really cool. For me, the most meaningful things that were shared with me were phrases and stories from the Bible. For example, in the Bible, it stated that God had created man from the ground and had seen that the man was lonely. So he took a rib from him to create a woman so that man would no longer be lonely. I thought that that was pretty unique in its own way and stuck out to me because it led me to ask many questions amongst the members while trying to stay sensitive and open minded, but it was a little tricky. Um, but I was very curious to see if this phrase had any deeper rooting to the ideologies of like the traditional stereotypes that men and women have been going throughout history. So I was able to receive a lot of different unique answers. I thought that that was really cool and important. The interview was informal just because I didn't have a notepad on me when I was speaking amongst the members because I felt like that was a little rude for me to do. So I didn't feel like it was the most appropriate time. So I did just try to, keep everything in my memory and step aside when it was appropriate to, and just kind of ask the person that I went with for like questions, rejogging my memory about the service. Um, and it also made it more personal when I was just talking to the people. And yeah, they were very encouraging me and even encouraged me to come back. So I might do that. That's really, unique in its own. A symbol of focus. I want to move on to that. So the Bible for me was a very focus symbol that a symbol that I wanted to focus on. I believe that the Bible itself was a beautiful symbol for me to focus on throughout the project and symbolized more than just scriptures, but symbolized guidance, divine truth, and God's word that people of the church community have to live by. Overall, my reflection on my overall experience was enjoyable and eye opening. Throughout my stay in community bonding time, I couldn't help but feel a unique feeling of belonging. I thought to myself, who wouldn't want to be a part of such an uplifting community with beautiful values? I couldn't find any malice or intense cult energy that people have spoken of about religions, like the stereotypes, but the efforts of strangers who made me feel welcomed and safe, even with the language barrier, felt unlimited. And to witness passionate readings about life and the labor of our fruit from very well communicated, oriented, lively personalities from older men and women. This ethnography helped me practice cultural relativism, seeing things through the lens of people and that I was observing rather than my own assumptions. Yeah, but that was my overall experience. It felt very personal and unique, and it's something that I would like to explore not only amongst Christianity but different religions all over the world and cultures. And that's definitely thanks to this class. So I feel very inspired and motivated and more educated, which I'm very blessed and grateful for. All right, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation, and I can't wait to see and read your guys's. Bye.